never give up on yourself. By perseverance, the snail reached the ark. Charles Haddon Spurgeon. A farmer once took an egg from an eagle's nest. He took it home and placed it under one of his hens, and it hatched with a little brood of chickens. The farmer raised the bird with great patience and attempted to tame him. The eagle never really seemed to fit in with the chickens. It always walked alone. It could not seem to relate to or interact with the chickens. As the eagle grew, he realized something seemed to be wrong deep inside of him. Even though he had never known any other existence but life in the chicken yard, it just did not feel like home to him. He wanted to leave the chicken yard and take to the skies. He even tried to do so, and the farmer finally had to clip the eagle's wings to keep him from flying away. Since the eagle could not fly, he just sat in the chicken yard looking up at the sky. One day a storm began to brew, the sky grew dark, and all the barnyard animals scurried around for cover. The chickens were terribly frightened, as chickens are prone to be. The eagle sat watching the scene in front of him, realizing the storm did not frighten him in the least. At that moment, he could not help but stretch out his wings, and as he did, he noticed that the farmer had failed to keep them clipped. Suddenly, his eye caught sight of a great eagle riding the wind above him, his wings outstretched in majestic form. The eagle that was raised as a chicken looked again at the chickens scurrying around frantically, then returned his gaze to the eagle soaring peacefully above him, then looked back at the chickens and then up at the eagle again. He heard the eagle let out an awesome, piercing cry. In that instant, he knew he had to get out of that chicken yard. A mighty gust of wind swept beneath his outstretched wings and lifted him into the air. With a shrill scream of victory and freedom, he left the barnyard forever.
Marie Curie, also known as Madame Curie, was the first woman to ever win a Nobel Prize, and she won 2 of them, a truly remarkable achievement. Born Maria Sklodowska in Poland in 1867 to a piano player and a mathematics and physics professor, Marie demonstrated an interest in education at an early age and won academic awards for her school achievements and acclaim for her remarkable memory. She hoped to continue her education following her completion of secondary school at age 16, but her father lost much of his money through an unwise investment, so Marie had to go to work as a teacher, dashing her hopes for further study at least temporarily. When she was 18, she took a job as a governess, during which time she endured a sad love affair. Marie and her sister Bronia, both affected by their father's loss of money, agreed that Marie would use the earnings from her governess job to finance Bronia's education, and when her education was complete, Bronia would fund Marie's studies. Both sisters kept their promise to each other. Marie traveled to Paris in 1891 to further her education in mathematics, physics, and chemistry at the world-famous university, the Sorbonne. With amazing dedication, Marie lived in a small, cramped student housing facility, where she survived primarily on bread, butter, and tea. At the Sorbonne, Marie met physics professor Pierre Curie, and the two married in Paris in 1895. Marie and Pierre committed their lives to science, particularly to the study of radium and polonium, which they isolated in 1898, and Marie named in honor of her native country. Though their research was brilliant, they had to conduct it in its early years under very poor laboratory conditions and were unable to support themselves with their work, so Pierre and Marie both had to spend hours teaching to make a living and provide for their 2 daughters. Marie's findings earned her a doctorate in 1903, the same year she, Pierre, and Antoine-Henri Becquerel received the Nobel Prize for Physics. In 1904, she was able to leave her job as a physics teacher at a nearby girls' school and become the chief assistant in Pierre's laboratory. The couple worked diligently and intensely, and among other significant achievements, discovered radioactivity. The couple's successful scientific partnership came to a tragic end in 1906, when Pierre was hit by a car and killed. Though his death had a profound impact on Marie, it also intensified her resolve to carry on the work the couple had begun. She was soon appointed to fill the teaching position her husband had held, professor of general physics in the Faculty of Sciences, and thereby became the first woman to teach in the Sorbonne. In 1911, Marie Curie won a second Nobel Prize, this time for chemistry, and continued in her dedication to her work, particularly in finding therapeutic uses for radium in an attempt to apply it in medical situations to alleviate human suffering. Marie Curie could have given up on her desire to pursue her education, decided not to suffer through the difficult laboratory arrangements under which she worked, and given up on her work in the wake of her husband's death. But she pressed through her challenges, delays, and difficulties and contributed greatly to scientific advances that continue to affect and save lives today.